Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's been more than 2 months since I started my supplement company, and it feels like I've made zero progress, honestly. The production still hasn't started. There are still so many things to be confirmed, and I honestly don't know where the direction is headed in or when I actually will have the product ready for launch. Initially, this idea for this new custom formulated supplement started end of April-ish, and at the time, after a few weeks of market research and planning, looking for manufacturers, I thought it was going to be ready by around end of June. Then some issues happened that got pushed back a little bit to start to mid of July, which is around right now. That's where I thought I was going to have the product ready to launch and for sale around this time, which is where my semester break is. But right now, a lot of things happened, a lot of problems happened. We were initially going to manufacture in New Zealand, where I'm from, but now due to certain import issues, some custom issues, we are now forced to manufacture in the US, and the processes are a lot different, the timelines are a lot different, and as of right now, I have managed to narrow down to one manufacturer from after reaching out to, I'd say like probably close to 50. And yeah, I found the best one in my opinion that's best suited for my brand, and we're working with them for a quotation at the moment. They actually came back to me with a quote last Thursday, but it was a lot higher than we thought, and we wanted a more detailed breakdown of where the cost is actually stacking in. So yeah, we're in negotiations with them. Hopefully we can get a better price, and once that's confirmed, we'll start the manufacturing. There is a lot of processes, especially in the US, since there's a lot of regulatory requirements that they have to meet. So especially with a custom formulation, it's something that, because it's a new formulation, the R&D team has to first lay down the theory, the foundation, and then running a benchtop sample. So just using, I think it's just using a small mixer actually with the ingredients, and then formulating it that way and seeing whether it's stable enough, it's like what the theory has predicted. Then after that, so once they have the benchtop sample made, they'll send that to us. But since I'm from New Zealand and it will take way too long to ship it to me, we'll need to find someone in the US to test it for us. So maybe hop on a voice call with us, and not voice call, video call, and show us the benchtop product. Then once the manufacturer has our approval for the product, then they can go ahead and do the scale-up run. The scale-up run is a small batch made using the actual machine, and I think it's around 25 pouches. And once that's done, it'll once again be sent to the guy in the US to just validate the product, to test it. Then once we approve the scale-up trial, then they have the final production run where they'll do the actual amounts that we agreed upon, which is 3,400 pouches. Yeah, so it's their minimum order quantity. And yeah, once that's done, we'll be ready for sale. So the entire lead time, it's around 12 weeks, and it's the shortest that we can find amongst all the manufacturers for custom formulations. A lot of them actually required minimum 6 months, just because there's a lot of R&D work, there's a lot of sample runs, and a lot of the times they need a free slot to slot you in, because if they're too busy, if all their times are booked out, then you do have to wait a long time for them to become available again. So yeah, 12 weeks minimum from now is what I'm looking at until the first batch is ready. It's a long way, and I guess in the past 2 months there has been a lot of change-ups, a lot of issues that we encountered. actually the first version of the formula and the first version of the branding I thought was already quite good and already will do quite well in the US market. But then we ran into some issues which that the first round of issues were like one of the ingredients we couldn't actually import into New Zealand. And so then we had to change up the formulation. And then I thought the second formulation was a lot better than the first one. So, and then there were some other issues. So we had to change up the formula again. And I thought the third formulation was the best. And I was like super confident that like this was the one. And then we actually went ahead and made the packaging. So we ordered 2,000 units of the pouches, which I designed. And that was shipped over to our New Zealand manufacturer at the time. And just a few days before the production with the New Zealand manufacturer, I had a call with some guy in the US, and they informed me that since the formulation contained these ingredients, it's unable to clear US customs. So we halted the run with the New Zealand manufacturer, then found a US manufacturer. And because now that we suddenly had to look for a new manufacturer, we thought, hey, let's rethink about the formulation again, rethink about the branding. So I spent 1 to 2 weeks doing another deep dive into the market, into the branding, and now we have the fourth version of the formulation and the second version of the branding. And this time around, I'm once again more confident than ever. I just feel like every single time we've done something happen and that's caused us to do a redesign or reformulation, it's made it a lot better. It's only been improving time after time. So now we have a final version of our formulation and our branding as well. I'm feeling really confident. Only thing holding us back is the long lead time at the moment. So I revamped the website to reflect the current branding, the current specifications, and I'm planning to do some pre-orders. So the website right now is set up for pre-orders. I'm gonna run up a lot of TikTok accounts to produce content and drive traffic to the website. I have one TikTok account at the moment at 62k followers, and I'm just posting 2 videos a week, and every video is getting around 100k to 200k views, which is pretty good. But at the moment, that channel, that TikTok account is posting videos that's not related to the product, it's just related to the niche. So I gotta think about how I can transition into subtly featuring the product while making it not too salesy. There's also a second account which is the same niche, and that account it's only got 2 videos. The first video actually got 1.5 million views, so that account is sitting at just under 15k followers. So just from those 2 accounts alone, I can probably already drive some traffic and get some pre-orders hopefully. But it's going to be really tough because first of all, it's not an Amazon listing, and I think people in the US will trust Amazon listings a lot more compared to a self-hosted website. And also it's pre-orders. And I have on the website that I don't want to lie saying that it's going to be ready next month. I'm saying that it's going to be ready early October. So it's a 3-month wait from now, and yeah, like it's going to be hard convincing people to buy this, to pre-order this product that will be available in 3 months. And it's from a brand they don't know. It's from a Shopify website as well. So there's going to be a lot of hurdles that we have to overcome in order to convince someone to buy the product. But then the positive side is if we're able to use TikTok organic to get people to pre-order our product, then once we have the Amazon listing ready, we have an item in the Amazon FBA warehouse, then the conversion is going to probably 5x or 10x. So at the moment, getting someone to convert via pre-orders we're probably converting at 10% to 20% of the actual conversion rate as we would with an Amazon listing. So if we can convert people from this website on pre-orders, then that's gonna give us a lot of reassurance and a lot of confidence that once we actually do have the product ready, it's gonna perform really, really well. So yeah, I'm working with someone in New Zealand right now to just produce content and make some different types of videos, have many different accounts, trying different content, seeing what works, and then once we find out what works, we can create a lot of variations of that. But yeah, TikTok is really, it's a really good strategy to go about this, and I do think that this will be one of our main sources of traffic going ahead into the future, even once we have our product ready. Because with TikTok, you can create just new accounts and post content, and if the content is good, then it gets a lot of engagement, it's going to go viral. So these days it's not that much about having a lot of followers, it's all about for you content these days. So it's just about how good the video is, whether it's resonating with the audience, if it's quality, and if it is, then it's going to go viral. So even posting in New Zealand, the main TikTok account I have at the moment, the one with 62k followers, my latest videos, 95% of the audience is in the US, which is, it's so perfect because we're only selling in the US and only US customers can actually pre-order. So that just showcases the possibilities. Even if you're not in the US, if your content are resonating with US audience, then you're going to get US viewers. So yeah, I'm looking to expand among the TikTok accounts in the future. What I envision is having an army of creators, either in the US or not in the US, each owning 3 to 5 TikTok accounts and posting videos for our brand. And yeah, we're going to be very happy with paying a very generous commission rate. The guy I'm working with right now in New Zealand, I told him that we're not going to put you on a monthly retainer. Instead we're going to give you a 40% commission on every sale you make, every pre-order sale you make, sorry. And 40%, yeah, if you just think about it from the creator's perspective, they don't have to do any of the product. They don't have to worry about the product. They don't have to worry about the stock. They don't have to worry about designing the website. They don't have to worry about anything. All they have to worry about is making good quality content and trying to get people to order the product through their referral link. And 40% commission rate, that's essentially a 40% profit margin, because from their perspective, the income they're making is 100% profit. And if they're making 40% commission, that's essentially the same thing as us as a brand making a 40% profit margin, which in the real world, that's having a 40% profit margin is almost impossible. And usually it's, I don't know, if you're doing well, maybe a 15%, 20%, 25%. But yeah, like I feel like it's actually so easy these days to be a creator, actually, because you only have to focus on the content. You just have to focus on making good content videos. And there are so many brands these days looking for creators, and there honestly is a shortage of creators, especially creators on TikTok Shop and TikTok Shop affiliates. And yeah, if you're an affiliate, you can work with so many different brands making videos for them, and that's the only skill you have to worry about, and the only skill you have to worry about improving. And usually, because there's so many brands and there's a limited number of affiliates, brands are typically very generous with the commission rate. So minimum is like 20%. And sometimes if you do well, they'll have you on like a 30% commission with a monthly retainer. Yeah, it's not a bad world to be in for a creator. Actually, it's really, really good. So that's where I'm currently sitting at with my supplement brand. Hopefully I can have it ready by early October. That's the best case scenario. I don't know if we're gonna run into any more problems. It's very likely that might be the case. And investment wise, it's going to be, I've already spent, I think close to maybe 2K USD just from all the paperwork stuff, like setting up a US LLC, getting an office lease, getting an attorney in the US to trademark a brand name for us, all of these things I had to pay extra for because I'm not a US citizen. So I had to pay for a lot of additional services that will help us achieve some of these things as a non-US citizen. Also, setting up a TikTok shop, had to hire someone to do that. And also we had to buy the packaging before. That was around 700 USD for 2,000 packages. And now that's wasted because we had to do a rebrand to match the US. So close to 2K spent so far. No progress in sight, no success in sight. The actual manufacturing run is going to be 34K USD with the current quote. I'm gonna try to lower that to hopefully below 30K. And there's also a 4K what is it called? It's called an initiation cost. So the cost for them to do all their testing, their sample runs, their benchtop samples, and their scale-up trials. So 4K plus 30K plus a bunch of other fees that I don't even want to think about. Yeah, it's a big investment. It's a super big investment, and I have no idea whether it's going to work out. All I can do is focus on crafting the brand to perfection, to the best of my abilities, and mastering my game of TikTok and going viral on TikTok. That's going to be the biggest leverage for us, combining the skills of marketing with AI automation with TikTok organic. And yeah, that's going to be the first step, the first high leverage, low cost step. And then after we get on TikTok shop, I'm going to be working with a lot of affiliates on there to pump out massive amounts of content and driving sales through there. But that's the update for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.